Hey everybody, welcome to the Brainal podcast. This is episode 51 and it is December 7th, 2016. I will be your main host today, Mr. Giggles, along with...
Good coffee. Yeah, we don't have Jepi here with us today or Frozen, so we're just doing the duo, the tag teaming of the news. So let's do this. Let's do this. We're so free right now. We can say anything we want.
We can do whatever we want. We want to say that we miss Frozen very much. For anyone out there who loves Jepi, you can stop listening now. He sucks, and I hope he's doing terrible right now.
I'm sure he's having a real bad time. I mean, if he's not on here, he's got to be doing something that's, Anyway, just kidding. We love you, Jepi. At least I do. I don't know how Giggles feels.
When he admits that I'm finally the greatest / genius, then maybe we'll be friends again.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. We're lucky.
That will happen. It's okay. He sucks. Moving on.
All right. All right.
So, let's get down to it. What have you been up to? What have you been playing lately, Coffee?
Okay, so I've got a lot of new games that I've been playing. Obviously, the big one, Final Fantasy 15. I picked up 15, and I know you've picked it up as well. Yeah. And we're gonna definitely go more into talking about 15. We gotta avoid spoilers since it just came out, but I'll get back to 15 in a second. Actually, you know what? I'll just talk about it for a minute. The first thing is, we had a 10-year wait, and this is your first Final Fantasy you plan on actually completing, correct, Giggles?
Outside of 14, which I have beaten the original story and
Okay. Well, we've had to wait 10 years, and 13 was kind of a letdown for a lot of people, and the hype was building up to 15, and I gotta say I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm not too far into the game right now, Chapter 3, but really enjoying it so far. The game's beautiful, and I'm just getting a good vibe from it, so I'm having a good time playing it.
Mm-hmm. What else have you been up to?
I picked up Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator, which is a fighting game. I bought it on the Black Friday sale for $17, and it's normally $60, so I figured why not.
Pretty worth it, I'd say.
Yeah. Me and Jepi started playing a little bit of it. He's mostly doing Street Fighter 5, but we've been dabbling a little bit in it, so it's been fun. And what's the last thing I've been playing? Oh yeah, the new Pokemon. Really enjoying that, playing Pokemon Sun. It's the best Pokemon I've played since Generation 2, Gold, Silver, so I'm really enjoying that as well. You're playing that too, aren't you?
Are you done? Did you go through your list?
Yeah, I'm all done. Go ahead. Yeah.
Because I'm gonna piggyback on your Pokemon.
Okay.
So I've beaten it.
Okay.
I beat it last week. I kind of rushed through because I explored a lot, but I rushed through because I wanted to get ready for 15.
Understandable.
I played X and Y. I think we all got that together like forever ago. And
Rollout.
Yeah. Shut up, Jepi. I hate you. I hope you
done sparse on his face.
We'll never talk about that again. And a rematch is coming soon, FY. But anyway,
He's too
Uh,
scared to get it. Let's be honest. Well, that should be stated right now that he is too afraid to pick up a copy because he knows he'll lose.
he is. He's. I issue the challenge now, and I know wherever he is, he's listening, and he can hear me. You're a coward. I'm not afraid to take you down. Um. So, but to be honest, X and Y, like I got into it, but kind of let me down.
Yeah.
I thought what it brought to the world of Pokemon was kind of cool, but it didn't do it in the best way. I thought that Sun and Moon kind of took that and just ran with it, and I thought they did an amazing job. I really loved it. Like I said, I beat it.
So good. Yeah.
Um, I definitely just binged on that for a good week. I think I beat it in like 5 days. It's for a game, especially a handheld game. It's excellent playtime. I think I spent at least 30 something hours on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It was so good that my brother picked up a 3DS just to get it, and he threw in like 10 hours in just 2 days. And my brother never does that. He's not a gamer at all.
I
Um,
honestly think that if you were ever considering Pokemon, which it's not for everyone, and I get that, but I think that if you were into handhelds or you needed something to bring you in, it's definitely a game that could pull you back in.
oh yeah, I mean, I'd even go as far as to say it's one of the top 3DS games. Period. Right now, I don't know if you agree with me, but
I think I could agree with you on that.
yeah,
I could
it's
get down with that.
down with that.
The
Down with the squirrel.
boys.
So let me get what you think about 15 without spoilers so
um.
far.
Okay, so, um, I have put in a solid amount of hours into it exploring. I am still only chapter 3,
Mm,
which I don't think
okay.
the fact that if you know it runs by chapters is a spoiler, so I won't say spoiler alert. I think that it's really good. I think that um, I'm curious to see how the story develops.
Yeah,
It's kept me very intrigued. I think that sometimes it's almost, even at this point, a little overwhelming because there's just so much stuff that you can do.
and look at yeah, yeah.
And I did spend like probably a good 15 hours just randomly running around trying to find things.
Dang, yeah,
Um, which I didn't even leave like the first area for a while just because of that. Um,
sure.
I think that, and this is something that I kind of want me and you were talking about the other day, that we're kind of talking about the difficulty level a little bit and
Yeah,
kind of our
yeah.
thoughts on there. And my idea is I really like in the beginning that they kind of talk about um, when you turn on the game that it's a Final Fantasy for first time and veterans.
Yeah, yeah.
As someone who's heavily I've played a lot of Final Fantasies and I've gotten very far in a lot of Final Fantasies, but I've never actually completed one. Like I'll say right now for our viewers, I got to Sephiroth on Final Fantasy VII. I think
What
I've
is
mentioned this,
wrong with you?
and because there's something just physically wrong with me,
I
um,
know, I know.
I
Okay.
didn't. I've never gone back to beat Sephiroth, and for the last year, I've talked to Jepi. I think I've mentioned it to you about doing it,
You
and
should. You
I
shouldn't
did
wait
it.
for the. You shouldn't wait for the new edition. I mean, you should play the new edition because it looks awesome. But I feel like you should experience the whole game in its original glory to really appreciate what they've done or changed
Yeah,
or hopefully not butchered for the new version.
yeah, agreed, and that's what I think I'm gonna go do. But anyway, talking about 15, I've loved playing it. I think that the way they develop your characters is really great. If
Hmm.
you're someone who's like me, who's very story driven, um, like it just makes it so worth it. Like there's just so many little things to appreciate about how they articulate the characters and how they develop
And how
them.
they interact with each other and stuff. Yeah, I can
Right.
see
I,
that for
I, I
sure.
can see where they had to take the extra time. My only I don't have any really big critiques.
Yes,
Um,
but we haven't. We're not that far. I mean, you have a ton of hours in, but
yeah, I'm
I
still not that far
know
into it.
I know there's a lot more than 3 chapters. So,
Yeah, there are several
yeah,
chapters. I know there's a bunch. I bought the official book. I suggest that if this is a game that you plan on 100%ing or going for the gold or platinum trophies or um, I forget what it's called on Xbox, but if you plan on doing that, I suggest heavily that you get the strategy guide or have a really good online guide because it is heavily involved. And if you are into side questing, you could let's say I'm 40 I know I'm 30 about 32 hours in, and my
Damn.
roommate is currently 52 hours in, give or take 5 or 6 hours of him just falling asleep while playing.
Oh, well, it must be really good then. Just kidding.
and and so he's a solid like 46 hours in,
Okay.
and we're both probably the level we could be to beat the game,
Oh, sure. I'm sure at this point.
but we still haven't finished like half of the side quest in the first two areas.
That's absurd.
Yeah, so my thing is if you, and we've been bouncing stuff off of each other the past week, if you have the book and you're gonna 100% it, good, you're on the track. If you don't have the book and you want 100% it, get the book. It's just so worth it.
I
Or have
did.
your computer next to you.
I did hear, and this is minor spoiler. From what I understand, is that you can go back to previously visited areas once you beat the game. So
It's not. I wouldn't even say that's a spoiler. They
yeah.
announced way ahead of time that there's going to be in-game comment and you can run around and stuff like that.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Wasn't
So,
sure.
but yeah, so we can come back. So I've been playing that. The other thing, I guess I'm kind of going through games here as well. The only other game I want to mention, sorry for talking about 15 so much because we'll come back to it in a minute, but
Yeah. That's
I
fine.
haven't officially played it yet, but I finally downloaded The Witcher 3.
Oh
Um,
yeah. You get it on the Black Friday sale
I got it on the Black Friday sale, so I got the complete edition, which comes with all three expansions.
for like what, $20 or something?
I think it, yeah, I
Maybe
think it was like
25.
24 bucks.
It's pretty sweet.
And I haven't played any of the Witchers. I've always been kind of fascinated. I've always wanted to. I don't know why I never did. There was a sale for Witcher 2, and I totally forgot to pick it up. I'm going to see if I can probably get a copy somewhere else. But I
I've
was
played
told
it.
that you can basically play 3, and there's only. You're not going to miss major plot points if you haven't played the other ones.
Really? Yeah. I
Yeah, I
I
was.
I've played 1 and 2. I haven't picked up 3 for some reason. Just wasn't in the Witcher mood. But you gotta let me know how you enjoy it.
I
One of
will.
my
Everyone I've talked to that's gotten it has played the expansions because the game was so good itself and has loved it. So for any of
oh
our
good.
viewers out there, listeners, um, you know, I highly suggest getting it. I've heard it's good. I want to play it really bad, but I don't want to mush it when I'm trying to crush a lot of Final Fantasy right now.
Yeah, and if any of you guys have played any of the Witcher before, we'd love to hear some comments about that.
Yes,
Um,
please hit us up. Like us on Facebook, YouTube, any of that. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, definitely hit us up and let us know. I mean, we always appreciate the feedback and like your thoughts because we'll talk about it or make fun of you.
yeah, right. No, yes, no.
The
Only if your
boys.
name's Jepi. No.
Yes, and I will personally reach out to you if you make fun of Jeppy. And call you my hero. Anyway, moving on. So let's get back to Final Fantasy 15 because that's really what me and you have wanted to talk about so bad for the last like 2 days.
yeah, that's true.
We both obviously are very much in love with it and very excited about it.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the difficulty thing for a minute because I kind of talked about that then ran off topic.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Um, Here's my thing. As I said before, it's kind of a game for new people and not. I think that if you play through the game without doing all the extra, I think that's going to be a huge challenge for you. Because I feel like doing all the extra stuff is for people who want to explore. It's kind of like Skyrim. If you go out and explore all the world and you do all this extra stuff, by the time you come back to the story, you're going to be so jacked that you're going to burn through story.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like Final Fantasy kind of condenses a lot of things, so it does that for you very fast. As I said, I'm in the second area, and I'm already level 46. My roommate is about to be level like 54.
Oh jeez.
And he's only like 6 hours. But and there's tricks to, um, boosting your XP and building up and doubling your XP at rest stops. And I'm just going to say right now there might be some minor spoilers, so anyone who doesn't want anything, please stop listening now, because I might just be stupid and say something. And Jepi's not here to yell at me. Screw that guy, but he's not here to yell at me.
He's just gonna like edit every single time you say that with "I love Jepi."
If he does that, I'm gonna kill you. And but yeah, so I
Yeah.
think that there's ways to double your XP and there's ways to do things to like really hype you up your level.
Mm-hmm.
But the game's really good. I think that even the fact that I'm so beefed up for my area, I still find challenges. Like I still have to
Sure.
use. There's still fights where if I'm not perfect with certain moves or combos or abilities that, or techniques in this game as they're called, that I have to use healing items.
Yeah. I just
And
kind of wish there was a hard mode past the normal mode. You know what I mean?
yeah, I kind of wonder that too. I wonder if there's a hard mode if you beat it. I don't know.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Um, I wonder. I have no idea. I I think that um, I think that if you play through, eventually it's gonna get really hard. I mean, like I said, if you're fighting monsters at night, I mean it's challenging regardless. Like I'm
Oh
level
yeah.
46. I've saved up the money. Like I've got the best equipment that I can get. I went out and I picked up some weapons. There's some weapons in the first area. I won't say which, just to not to spoil it too much, but you can pick up most of the items you can buy at any of the stores. You can
Mm-hmm.
pick up searching throughout the area.
Yeah.
Um, and the great thing is those items they respawn every so often, so you can
Yeah.
go back there and pick them up again and again. And I'll tell you that I think that like if you really explore, it really sets it up for you to just beef your character up because you just like exploring. It kind of
No,
rewards you for doing that.
so yeah, I really enjoy it so far. One thing I noticed, and I know we were talking about this earlier, is they basically came out and said that they're planning on adding some additional stuff to the game later on. I mean, we already know they're doing the season pass, right? And that's you pay for that. But they talked about in the short term how they wanted to basically improve some of the gameplay and some of the later chapters. I guess there have been some complaints about that. I mean, I haven't gotten to that point, so I have no complaint myself. But they're also talking about expanding on some of the story um, and on some of the characters, adding that in as a free update later on, as well as adding in, additional bosses, even the idea of avatar creations, like kind of like you could create any type of character you want, and kind of almost
Yeah.
like raid bosses from Final Fantasy 14 that are on a time limit, which would probably go along with the multiplayer. I mean, what do you think about all this stuff? How do you feel? I mean, I have my thoughts, but I'd like
You
to
know
hear
what?
what you
I'm
think.
actually curious to see what you said because I kind of cut you off when we were talking before the podcast about this. So I'm actually curious for you to finish your thoughts before I say anything.
Okay. Well, here's my thoughts. And I get frustrated a lot now when companies, and I'm not saying it's Square Enix that just does this. I know a lot of companies now will release products or push products out that still aren't completely polished because they know they could go in later and add stuff. And that's something that's really, really bothered me, and especially for a game that took 10 years to make, and they're going in and literally, I mean, based upon feedback and complaints, literally going in and changing these areas. And I appreciate they're listening to feedback. That's awesome. That's great. But the fact alone is this stuff is going to affect the core game and the story and the flow of the game. So those that get the game later, after all this stuff is added in to the main story, to the main core aspect of the game, get a benefit of enjoying it more the first time than us who have to, if we beat it first, we'll have to go back and beat it again to see those extra scenes and experience the gameplay tweaks. Whatever, the stuff that they add to the base game. I'm not talking about the end game content they add, bosses, avatars, whatever. Hey guys, this is Good Coffee again. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, so I'm gonna get right back into talking about what we were talking about just a minute ago. But
It's Jepi's fault, just for the record. I
oh
just want to
yeah,
put that out there.
obviously, yeah.
That guy sucks. God, I hate that guy.
Oh, he's gonna have so much editing to do.
So,
Anyway, but yeah, what I was saying was, as far as 15 goes, is I guess I'm a little frustrated knowing that people that pick it up later will probably get the better experience, and I'm tired of seeing that happen a lot in games that are out these days. It happens a lot with Fallout. It happens a lot with other games, patching in the problems, fixing the problems. I just wish we could see a game released where it was the best version that it could be.
yeah, I agree with you. My whole thing is, I feel like they released a game and then they were like, "You guys love it so much, and we've been working on it that we want it to be the perfect game."
Okay.
That they're going and they're back and they're editing things that they think could be better or that could beef it up. Part of me does ask, like, well, was any of this something that you thought you could have put in beforehand? I was kind of mad, to build on your point, that there was even a patch, because their whole point of delaying it an extra month was because they didn't want a really big patch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So um, that kind of ticked me off a bit. I get that, even the best laid plans of mice and men, and I understand all that, and if there was like a gig patch because they just had to fix a couple of things that they realized when they added stuff in it didn't work, I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
feel a lot of article, like what they were adding in, and what they were talking about. A lot of it felt like it was just stuff that was like purely kind of DLC stuff.
Mhm.
Um, some of like the character, and this is, this isn't really a spoiler. This is things they've already announced publicly that they're gonna add in. I don't think it's spoiling anything, but like they want to do things with like characters and stuff like that, and they want to do.
And adding in additional player characters and stuff like that, but that's just
Yeah, and my thing is like if they do it as like extra missions and stuff to beef up parts of the story, and like um I won't, I know that some people had issues with congruencies in the story, not like things that didn't match up, but that things like seemed unclear, I guess. I don't know, and I just know
yeah.
that those are some of the complaints. Um,
Yeah.
so nothing spoiled there, but I know that that was an issue for some people. So if they do little things, I guess cleared up, I get it. It does ruin it, which I get your point too. So I think in a
Yeah.
way they dropped the ball, but if they're like, you listen, we came out with this game, and I have to admit, for all that they put into it, it's a pretty well polished game. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so
It is.
I understand if they took time. I personally, which I kind of kick myself now, I never played the demo. Did
Yeah.
you play the
Yeah.
demo?
Yeah. I played both demos, and they actually polished it up from the demo quite a bit. So they were taking player feedback into account. They were listening to people. So I mean, that's all good, and I definitely appreciate that. I guess I'm just kind of butthurt over the idea that there's going to be additional story and other stuff added on down the line that I don't get to experience the first time through, unless I decide to wait and put it, on the back burner until they update it.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
kind of wish if they were doing things to delve into characters or whatever, they were doing it like as an in-game thing, because they have talked about that. But um, I don't know. I'm a little on that end. I was a little kind of like, I was kind of like you, but I was gonna say I was neutral, because I was kind of angry about it, but at the same token, I respected why they were doing it. So it kind of balanced out in a way. And when I looked at a lot of what they're adding in, it wasn't so much. It looked to me like a lot of it was being added in as DLC content for like end game stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when I found out like 90% of what I was reading and I looked at said that, I was kind of like, okay, I'm not as mad as I thought I was gonna be.
I get that, and I'm not mad. So far, I'm really enjoying the game, and I think we'll both have a better perspective on this after we finish it.
Yeah.
So we would probably have better things to say as far as that goes, and our feelings on incongruencies, or chapters that may not play as well as the rest of the game, etc. Whatever.
Yeah.
Things I've heard, but things that I can't comment on
I
because I
will
haven't
say,
played
and this
it.
isn't a spoiler, for anyone who's going to buy the game or who has bought the game, if you haven't watched the 5 episode anime, Brotherhood, I believe it was Brotherhood, if you haven't
Yeah, yeah.
watched that, and also Kingsglaive,
Kingsglaive. Yeah.
I think I see where a lot of the story might seem kind of choppy. I
Oh
did
yeah.
hear a lot of people who played through just the first half of the campaign who felt that way. And I was reading a lot of the critics' things. I try to always read them just to get perspective so that I can kind of understand where they were coming from. And the one thing I think, and this is something, once again, I'm going to bring up my roommate because we're pretty much at the same point. Um, that jerk is actually playing right now, and I hate him. But um, it's the fact that once we both started the game and we played a few hours into it, but then we went back and we watched the rest of Brotherhood, the 5 anime series, and I had already watched Kingsglaive. And once I had done that, there were certain things that happened or went on that I'm like, wow, if this is something that was like a choppy story point, I don't think it's as choppy now.
No, yeah, and I agree with you on that. I guess it's just most people when they pick up a game, they don't expect you to have to watch something accompanying it to, enjoy the story. But I appreciate Kingsglaive. I enjoyed Kingsglaive for what it was, and I thought it did fill out a lot of the stuff
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of
from,
funny because I kind of felt like Kingsglaive itself was choppy. But then I get
yeah,
why, because you kind of have to watch it at the same time as playing the game. And I
yeah,
was like, well, this
yeah,
would have made a lot more sense if they hadn't released Kingsglaive so early. But at the same token, if they hadn't released Kingsglaive early, then I might not have understood this. So
exactly.
I thought it was kind of funny. I think that you have to appreciate this game for the world that they're building.
Hmm.
And I kind of, and I don't mean to bring up Destiny because I always bring up Destiny, but um, it's kind of like you have to respect it for the world that they're creating.
Yeah,
And I think in
yeah.
Final Fantasy, I honestly, I, I'm only on chapter 3. I honestly expect that there's going to be um, another game or some type of big DLC that comes up for it, which they've already announced a bunch of little things, but I expect a really big one. Maybe one of those will be big. Uh, I expect even for there to be a possibility of a sequel. I think they've spent 10 years developing a
Hmm.
world that I don't think you throw away on just like, a free game as
That's
an
a good
add-on,
point.
one big, I mean, humongously huge game.
Just as long as it doesn't go the route of Final Fantasy 13, 2, and 3. That's my personal. I mean, I know some people thought 2 was better than the first one. I just, to me, I like seeing new
Well,
experiences and
I
stories.
think
But
to me, and this is something that is a completely theory that I have. Now, I played like a third of the way through 3, through 13, excuse me, and I kind of fell off. There's part of me that maybe wants to go back at one point and play. Uh,
yeah,
but if you, and I don't know if you remember Coffee, but like I remember freshman year of like college watching the sneak videos of what 13 was supposed to be like, and 13 verses,
yeah, yeah.
and to be honest, the style of what they wanted it to be reminds me a lot more of the game I play now, and
Hmm.
I kind of feel like what happened was they developed two different worlds, and they realized they didn't
Hmm.
mesh. So what happened was is all the leftover stuff after 13 that didn't mesh in with now 15. They kind of were like, okay, let's develop this more, add in this stuff, and make it another game.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and I think that's why for some people, um, who liked 13 to begin with, I think it filled in things for them and did things for them because it was supposed to be two games being released side by side in a way. I think the other thing is that if you were so already turned off by 13, that's why you wouldn't care for 2. or anything that followed.
That makes sense.
It,
That makes sense.
it's just a theory, but if you look at what came out as 15 and what 13 was, and what, if you remember those videos from literally 10 years
Yeah,
ago,
they don't look related. They don't look
no.
related
And
at all. At
when
least
I
not really.
remember watching those demos, I think of the game I'm playing now, not of the
Yeah.
turn-based game, because if you remember, 13 was never supposed to be like a turn-based game. They
Yeah.
completely
Yeah.
altered a lot of things, and I think that was because um, of the fact is of just the world that they were building, and I think that they kind of scrapped it and then used the scraps to rebuild something else to keep that going, and then turn this whole into another game that turned into a whole project. And I think it's beautiful. I think they've constructed this amazing world that I can't wait to further explore. I just, once again, I think that you know, it's just what it is. But
Yeah.
anyway, let's move on to other things. We've we've gotten our fanboy 15.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so.
Uh,
So what's the other news you wanted to cover?
actually, I think it's something that you will be excited about. So I'm gonna let you kind of introduce it,
Okay.
because
Okay. Um. So PlayStation Experience just went on not too long ago, and to be honest, I was not expecting. I don't think anybody was really expecting as big of a reveal as they had during it, which was The Last of Us Part Two. Um,
what?
and to be honest, I'm so excited about that. Um, I love Naughty Dog. I've always loved their games, and I'm gonna be the first to admit that I'm burned out on zombie stories, but The Last of Us is probably the best told, in my opinion, in this one man's humble opinion, as far as zombie stories goes, in pretty much any medium that I've
First of all,
experienced.
coffee. First of all, I'm
Um,
gonna stop you right there. It's not your opinion. It's in everyone's opinion, and you get that fact
it's in
straight.
fact, you get it straight, get it straight, get
Yeah,
it
get it
straight, yeah.
straight. No, you get it
But
straight.
get straight, yeah. But that that trailer. Did you watch the trailer?
Did I watch the trailer?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, let me ask you: did you beat the first Last of Us? You
Yes, I
did,
did.
didn't you? Okay, and what do you think of it?
It was the first game that made me have to stop and think about my choices.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty intense. And after watching that second trailer, man, wow,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I don't know exactly what to say, but I mean, I could go into all sorts of thing, but I know some people don't want to know exactly what went on with the trailer, but I guess we could probably talk about the tone of the trailer without going into too much detail. Um, Obviously, Ellie and I believe Joel are back. If you'd agree with me on that one, at least we know Ellie's
I don't
back,
understand
right?
why no one thinks, or there's this whole big theory that that wasn't Joel.
I mean, I think it was Joel. I personally think it was Joel, but the it has a much. I mean, The Last of Us is dark, but the overall feel of that second trailer is downright, you know, incredibly dark, like way darker than any of the trailers for the first game. Um, I don't know if you agree or not.
No, I mean, I think that it's been developing that throughout the story, and I think that it's totally going in that direction. So it didn't surprise me in that way.
Okay.
It's kind of a brutal world, and I mean, think about everyone thought, whatever they thought before they played the first one, but. And I mean, I hope I'm not spoiling this for anyone who hasn't played it yet, because it's been out for like over a year.
Well, don't do like the
No,
end of the
no, no.
game
I'm saying the
spoilers.
very beginning.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
even if you played the first 15 minutes of the game, I mean, that's a pretty heavy duty emotional story.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
you
It is.
don't start a game like that, and don't expect it to get somehow dark. Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, I know. I'm saying I would say the for me the tone in the first one was about hope and relationships overall, And I feel like this one's just going down the route of hatred slash revenge. And I could be wrong, but I'm getting those kind of vibes, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I'll tell you, I was nervous about it, and ever since Uncharted 4, I have complete trust in Naughty Dog to make sequels when I didn't think there should be sequels. So I'm really amping up for this, and I hate that I'm doing it because I always don't like to, but I really Naughty Dog has just constantly, I think in my mind they can almost do no wrong. Um,
I
and
hear
I
you.
just think that the story that they could deliver and the way the last one ended, that there's so much she could be mad about and there's so much that could be going on.
Oh yeah, but yeah, yeah, I think so. But yeah, man, I'm pumped.
So
I'm pumped.
I think it's going to be amazing. If you haven't watched the trailer, I highly suggest you go watch the trailer.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
I think that's going to be a big point of contention in the months to come. Um, and I think
It's probably a ways off though, the
I don't
game.
know. I'm
So
curious. I'm hoping for a nice big E3 trailer. How about you?
yeah, it'd be good to see at E3. I'm guessing. I mean, this is my guess. I don't expect it to actually release until maybe holiday 2018.
Really?
Um, yeah, or midway through 2018. I do not think it's gonna make it out in 2017.
I'm gonna state right now for the official record. I'm predicting a holiday 2017 release.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
I'm
we'll
I'm
see. We'll
throwing
see.
down the
Okay.
gloves right now.
Okay. I hope you're right. I hope you're right, but I feel like Uncharted 4 just came out so recently
Well,
that I just
well,
don't
they
see it.
announced when they announced Uncharted 4. Wasn't that at the E3 this past spring?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think it was the
Was
one
it?
before.
Okay, I might be wrong, but I
Yeah.
honestly think it. I don't know. I'm just taking a guess here.
We'll see.
Taking a
We'll
gander.
see.
All right. But yeah, so you need to watch the trailer if you haven't watched that trailer, and if you don't watch the trailer, you're dumb, like Jepi.
You're
You're stupid.
stupid. Stupid.
Okay.
Uh,
So, haven't talked about it in a while. It kind of blew up and then it kind of died as quickly as it kind of blew up, in my opinion. But
yeah.
I think it deserves some mention, and it's not a true game in the sense that it's a console game, it's a phone, mobile game, but Pokemon Go is still
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah. It
It's still a
is.
thing.
Yeah. I mean, I pull it out every once in a
It's a
while, to
thing.
be
It's
honest.
a thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I feel about playing it again because they are introducing second generation.
I think so. I mean, they haven't necessarily. I mean, okay. Let me step back for a second before I chew my tongue off. They are people have data mined and found Generation Two. They are having a press conference on the 12th where they said they will be announcing new Pokemon. So yeah, it's probably Gen 2. Do we know for sure? No. They could be doing, bits and pieces of Pokemon and not releasing them all at once, but I think that would be foolish. But I've heard rumors that there's gonna be something going along with Starbucks where you could get certain Pokemon at Starbucks. I don't know. I just really hope they don't do it that way.
Starbucks and Pokemon Go with our powers combined. That's just scary.
With our powers combined, we will take all your money.
Um, so I just thought it deserved mention. For anyone who still plays it, I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are. I really have considered just for the Gen 2 Pokemon to jump back in. Um,
Yeah.
if you wouldn't mind, definitely give us a shout out on one of our social media feeds. Let us know if you think it's worth jumping back into. If you don't, cool, let us know. Um,
Yeah. I think it's just hard right now because, the main Pokemon games are out, and I feel like those are so much
oh,
more
better?
fun. you
I'm
know?
tired of exercising, man.
So,
This is ridiculous.
yeah, let me stay inside. Let me stay inside
Where it's safe.
and use my 3DS only for bathroom purpose like it was
God
intended.
bless.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, so, couple things. One last thing I'd like to mention, And I thought there was this really good article. I gotta give a shout out. IGN published it. I thought it was really good. Was games that weren't at the PlayStation Experience.
Okay, yeah.
And
where the heck was Kingdom Hearts 3? Where's that at?
And I only want to mention a couple that they mentioned, but that being one of them, I'm kind of shocked in multiple ways, especially after E3, that that was kind of silent.
Yeah. I'm a little concerned. I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan, like huge, like I have Kingdom Hearts stuff on my wall, literally. So
he literally has a Kingdom Heart on his wall.
I have a Kingdom Heart on my heart because I have a Kingdom Heart. You know what I'm saying?
Know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah,
I fight heartless in my sleep. Okay.
So, but yeah, I was kind of shocked at that. You know, they didn't show, you know, God of War, which kind of surprised me. I thought that would be a big PlayStation thing, and
well, I'm not that surprised on God of War because it was recently talked about. Like, they had such a big segment on it at E3. And that was like the full thing. That was the full opener for PlayStation. I feel since they already went through like a basically gameplay demo of it, maybe it not necessarily need to be in there as much. But
that's fair.
I don't know. I see what you're saying.
I think you're right. And you know what? Now that I think about it, very good point, Coffee. You know, unlike Jepi, you have very good points. I'm very proud of you.
Man, you're gonna get so fired.
This is what happens when.
Wait, do we even get paid?
Okay. What do you call it? This is what happens when the parents are gone.
Yeah, the parents are gone. Yeah. Play. Give us the ground rules, and we're just gonna
not listen to any of them.
We're just gonna,
but yeah, so I was just kind of, you know, in Days Gone, a zombie game, but like, you know, stuff like some big things they talked about. I kind of figured maybe they do little hints or something. Yeah. But yeah, so I was just I wanted to, you know, reach out to you, see what you thought. I thought it was kind of strange too when I was looking over that. I was like, yeah, that's kind of weird. I mean, PlayStation has been so on point with their appearances that I was kind of surprised.
No, yeah. I agree with you to an extent. I guess I'd probably be more surprised about it if I even knew this PlayStation experience was coming up in the first place. Because to be honest, the Last of Us 2 trailer completely came out of left field. I was like, oh, so PlayStation experience is going, oh, Last of Us 2, what? You know, like, I did not even, you know. So, the other stuff not showing up at all, you know, it didn't really faze me. But I guess if I had been more aware and been more hyped on the idea, then yeah, it might have bothered me.
I don't know. I kind of expect that they're going to do I expect another big E3 from them, to be honest. I know it's still a ways off, but I'll tell you right now, I will make sure that I have free time to watch that.
So, oh, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, any other news you want to cover, buddy?
No, I don't have anything. I don't have a question of the day. Besides, what do you think Jepi's wearing right now?
God, I hope he's burning in just fire. That was such a good question. Frozen, I'm sorry. I love you. You're amazing. But that was a really good question. I think if we could have more questions about how terrible Jepi is, everything would be better.
I didn't say he was terrible. I was just asking what he was wearing.
No, it's okay. I got what you were cooking. It's okay.
But yeah, if that's it, I'm gonna go ahead and close this out.
Let's wrap this up.
But on behalf of everyone from the Brainal podcast, I'm Good Coffee,
Mr. Giggles,
and we hoped you enjoyed just the two of us. You know, while the parents are away, kids will play.
Just
so
two
you guys have a. It's too late when we. Yeah. But anyway.
Cheers.